Hello everyone, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. So today we are going to be doing something a little bit different over here. We're going to be taking a look at your person's rose, thorn, and bud. Okay, so we're taking a look at your person and your connection, and the rose, something positive about the connection, something that's been going very well, something positive again about the connection or about your person themselves. Then we will be taking a look at your person and your connections. Thorn, something that is maybe a little bit difficult or a little bit challenging when it comes to this connection. And then we will be taking a look at the bud, something that you can look forward to when it comes to this connection, something exciting that might be coming up for this connection. And we're doing all of this today in an effort to make you aware of all sides of this connection and of your person, and to help for you to be able to navigate the connection as it moves forward. And we are doing this Rose and Thorn reading today in honor of the collaboration that I am doing with Rose Forever. I'm really excited because I've been eyeing their arrangements for a while and they are absolutely stunning. I'm a big believer in making your space feel beautiful and intentional, and I'm an even bigger believer in treating yourself when you are able to. Rose Forever does exactly both with their gorgeous preserved roses. I am so excited to show you what they sent me. So this is their 9 pink roses in a pink round suede box. Look at how beautiful they are. They look and feel luxurious from the moment you open it. The roses are 100% real and preserved with natural oils, which means they can last a whole year or even longer if you care for them properly. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I collabed with them over 2 years ago for the first time, and those roses are still perfect. And just for some proof, this is what those roses still look like over 2 years later, okay? So no water, no maintenance, and they still stay looking literally this perfect 2 years later, okay? I've got mine sitting on my desk, both of them now, and it honestly elevates and beautifies the vibe of the entire room. These roses make for such a perfect gift too, whether you're purchasing it for a partner, for a friend, a loved one, or just as a little treat to yourself. And the best part is, Rose Forever is giving you all a special discount. Just use my code D20 to get $20 off of your total order. Plus, right now they have a sale for 4th of July taking place that will save you up to 30% off your order. Click the links in the description box below to explore their collections. They have so many colors, box styles, and sizes to choose from. And I am just honestly so impressed with the quality of these roses, and their pieces instantly add elegance to any space. I'm so grateful to be working with a brand like this. If you have any questions or if you've ever received or gifted a Rose Forever arrangement, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know which colors are your favorite. Thanks again to Rose Forever for collaborating with me on today's video and for helping me bring a little extra beauty into my day. So now let's get back into you picking your pile. For pile 1, we have sodalite. For pile 2, we have selenite. And for pile 3, we have amethyst. Hello, pile 1, my sodalite pile. Let's take a look first at your person's rose. So again, what we're doing here today is your connection and your person's rose, thorn, and bud. The rose is meant to represent positive things about the connection or positive traits that your person has. The thorn is meant to represent something difficult or something challenging, either about the connection or again about your person's attributes. And the bud is meant to represent something that we can look forward to in regard to this connection. So first up, for their rose, we have got the 10 of Pentacles. And we have got the 9 of Pentacles. So for me, when it comes to this person's rose, something really positive about them would be that they are family oriented. I would say another very big positive trait is that there's somebody that's very loyal, very committed. Just based on these two Pentacles cards, the Ten of Pentacles is a card that will represent commitment, family, legacy. The Nine of Pentacles is a card that will indicate successfulness, independence, and overall, I feel like it's a really strong indication of this person treating you well. Like something that, what I really like, let's say like as a rose for this connection, is the fact that both of you seem to be your own person. Like you maintain your independence, your person maintains their independence, and there's just overall a very healthy attachment style when it comes to this connection. And the two of you really do see with that Ten of Pentacles a future together. Like there's a potential for a future together. We might be working toward a future together. It seems as though the two of you share a lot of the same values and life goals. You both might have a similar vision for the future or want a lot of the same things for your future. I feel like overall, one of the biggest positives about this connection right now are those shared goals and shared values. The other big part of it is that there seems to be mutual loyalty and mutual commitment. And lastly, I really love seeing that there's this level of independence that's maintained on both sides of this connection. So those would be my top 3 roses per se in regard to this. I also feel like what this says about your person is that they're hardworking, they're family oriented, they're financially stable and secure, if not prosperous. I also feel like it's a strong indication, again, with that Nine of Pentacles, that this person treats you very well and they know your worth. Like they know that you deserve the world and they do their best to give you the world. So now let's get a couple of cards out here to take a look at your person's thorns. Okay, what are some thorns, some difficulties, some challenges, even some disappointments at times that might occur within this connection? The first card to jump out is the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups, I feel like makes a lot of sense because I feel like the Eight of Cups takes their whatever issue they're having and goes at it alone. So something that might be difficult, even though we like the fact that it's a healthy connection and we like the fact that we're able to be independent and our person's independent, your person might have a habit, or even you might have a habit, because we're looking at not just taking a look at your person's, I'm going to say, negative traits, but we're also taking a look at things that might be difficult or challenging at times within the connection. And so it could also be you, just saying, that it's like if you're having a problem or if your person's having a problem, or maybe it's a bit of both of you that do this. It's not so much maybe that it could be actually difficult for you to open up to one another about whatever the problem or issue is that you're facing. But what might be difficult or challenging at times is you both feeling like you have to go at it alone. Like even though you guys might be in a couple, even though the two of you are together, it seems like there's times where you almost don't want to bother or inconvenience the other person with whatever it is that you're struggling with. Whereas maybe if we were open about it and we were expressing ourselves and we were letting the person know, like, hey, I'm really struggling with this, whether it's work, whether it's our mental health, etc., and so on. It doesn't really matter what the, let's say, issue might be that we're having. But what can make the relationship difficult at times is like you watching your person struggle and them not opening up to you, or them watching you struggle with something and you not being open and honest about what it is that's going on or what it is that's bothering you. So that could be something of a thorn and something that we would want to be aware of. And I do feel like it's something that is resolvable. Like I feel like it's something that the two of you, even though it might be difficult, even though it might be challenging, it's something that the two of you can work through. Now, the other thorn is kind of interesting, being the Wheel of Fortune. What I'm curious about, or what I'll say, is perhaps something that I would look at as a thorn with the Wheel of Fortune, is that the Wheel of Fortune, of course, it's a card of fate, of destiny. And that leads me to believe at times we might feel like, I don't know how to say it in the right way, but it's almost like we might leave, or our person might leave a lot of things up to chance or up to fate versus fixing or resolving something. So like, I feel like as a thorn, it's either something that, again, both of you do because it affects the connection or makes the connection challenging at times, or again, it's something that's more so of a negative trait that your person has, where it's just kind of like, let's say there is something that needs to be resolved. We might just sit back and almost wait for it to resolve itself versus putting in an effort to find the solutions that we need to find and, you know, resolve the issue ourselves. Does that make sense? It just kind of feels like looking at the wheel as something more so negatively, it could be this indication of just kind of letting things happen, or letting things slide, or leaving things up to chance versus us exerting perhaps some of our own free will and making things happen or resolving things on our own. So I hope that makes sense. Now, the other aspect of the Wheel of Fortune, which could of course make for a thorn, is what this card could mean when it's reversed. And for me, if we're looking at it as something about somebody else or something about the connection, is at times something that could be very difficult or challenging is us or our person not taking accountability. Like not taking accountability for our mistakes, not taking ownership of something, and just kind of, again, feeling like, oh, these negative things keep happening to me, either without taking accountability for our own actions that might have led to that outcome, or just in general, like not taking ownership or not taking accountability for something. And I feel like that kind of relates back to what I was just saying, leaving things up to chance or to fate. This bad thing happened to me and none of it was my fault, which of course there's lots of bad shit that happens that's not our fault. That's not what I'm trying to say, but we might find at times that there's a lack of accountability. Not like we'd put blame on ourselves or put blame on our person, but okay, maybe I could have handled this situation differently and it would have worked out differently for me, or would have worked out differently for them. So again, that's coming through as a thorn, as some sort of challenge or difficulty. And to be honest, it's absolutely, of course, again, something that can be resolved and something that can be worked through, but it is super, super challenging if we have difficulty or our person has difficulty taking accountability. So let's get the bud, something to look forward to in regard to this connection, some sort of potential, some sort of future thing that we can look forward to in regard to this relationship. We have got the Three of Wands, or actually we have got the Four of Wands. Oh no, this one, these Roman numerals, we have got the Six of Wands, okay? It took me a while. We have got the Six of Wands here. And we have got the Eight of Pentacles as well, coming through as the bud in this reading. So for me, the Six of Wands is a card of us moving forward, making positive movement forward towards stability and security. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of us again, making some sort of positive movement forward, moving forward toward commitment, more time, effort, and energy being given in regard to this connection. And overall, I feel like these cards are really good buds to have in regard to what to look forward to when it comes to the connection between you both, because it could be an indication of it becoming more stable and secure than it currently is, which for me would mean deepening the level of commitment. So if we're in the talking stage, we might get asked out. If we've already been asked out, we might become exclusive. If we're exclusive, we might become boyfriend, girlfriend, and so on and so forth, moving up the chain. It just really feels like, to me, this is a connection where, again, both of you see that there's potential for a future together. And one of the best buds for me in regard to this, and part of it's if in regard to the connection as a whole, part of it's in regard to your person and their traits, but the two of you seem to be very welcoming to one another, and we are constantly hyping the other person up. Like, you're their biggest fan, they're your biggest fan, and it just seems like the two of you are extremely and incredibly supportive to one another. My other favorite thing, as far as this being a bud, something to look forward to, yada yada, is the Eight of Pentacles, bringing up time, effort, and energy, as well as commitment. You know, we're both putting effort into this connection, and we're both committed to one another. You know, and it just seems like this commitment level is something that's going to continue to grow and evolve. The connection is going to continue to grow and evolve. And ultimately, it does seem like we have a lot to look forward to when it comes to this connection. I hope that this made sense for you, my pile ones. Thank you so, so much for joining me here today. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Hello, my pile twos, my selenite piles. So first, we are going to get your person's rose out here. And just as a reminder, the rose is meant to represent the connection and your person's positive attributes, what's been going well and what will continue to go well within this connection. The thorn is meant to represent a challenge or something difficult or even disappointing in regard to this connection, or again, in regard to your person's attributes. And the bud is meant to represent something to look forward to when it comes to this connection with your person. And something, even let's say that something you can look forward to in regard to them and their personality. So I love the roses here because they're all about clarity and communication. The Judgment card is a card of objectivity. It's a card of honesty. It's a card of good judgment and of making decisions. The Ace of Swords is a card that is about clarity, communication, and making the right or best decisions for yourselves. So for me, when it comes to this connection, something that's really strong and very positive about it is the fact that the both of you seem to come to decisions together. It also would then mean to me that there's maybe not a lot of like straight up compromise, but there could be a lot of compromise. There's the thinking of solutions together as I knock my tripod out of the way. But there's coming up with solutions together, working through things, communicating through issues, and in general, just communicating, expressing yourselves. One thing that I've been getting from the Judgment card for a while when it comes to love readings is the fact that the Judgment card a lot of times will bring with it this message of, I have decided. And what I like with that is, it's like this person's decided that they're going to put their effort into this relationship. Your person has decided that they're going to, do what they need to do to make you happy. Your person has decided that they're going to be communicative and honest. And to me, it's just kind of like, I don't know if that makes sense, but for me, it's just kind of like this person is really doing what they need to do and trying to make decisions that might affect the both of you in a way that's going to make both of you happy at the end of the day. I feel like this is a connection where with the Ace of Swords, you and your person have a lot in common. There's a lot of similar interests. There's a lot of similar ideas or even ideals. It just feels like to me this is a very open and honest connection. Your person's a very open and honest person, and it seems like one of the strong suits of this connection is its communication, but also your ability to work together, your ability to compromise, your ability to collaborate. Like, it just really feels like you and your person are on the same page when it comes to a lot of things, and you and your person are able to communicate. Maybe even during difficult times, the both of you at the end of the day are still able to communicate with one another openly and honestly, and you feel comfortable enough to express yourselves. So I hope that makes sense. Now let's get a couple of thorns out here. Okay, so again, this is basically negative things about the connection or about your person. And again, it's really just to make you fully aware of this connection and what it is that you're, and who it is that you are involved with. But it's meant to represent something that could be difficult or challenging when it comes to the connection. So we have got the Six of Pentacles. And let's see what fell to the floor. And the Two of Pentacles. So for me, something that could be an interesting bit of a thorn is the Six of Pentacles. And I don't know why this is coming up for me, or why it's the immediate thing that's coming up for me, but the first thing that jumped into my mind was kind of like this person being too helpful, but in a way, especially now seeing the Two of Pentacles next to it, almost like at times this person has difficulty dividing up their time appropriately. And I feel like where that could cause an issue or a challenge, and we might have, because again, it's a challenge that affects the connection. So part of this could also be you. Either way, or both of you. So them, you, or both of you. It's like this, that could be a huge challenge because it might lead to one of you feeling like you're not being prioritized. Like if this person's giving their help, their support, their assistance to all of these different things, and they seem to at times be juggling too many different things at once, it could lead to you, or it could lead to them, if this is a challenge that you face, feeling like there's a lack of prioritization. Now, what's good is the roses here expressed a lot of clear-cut communication between the both of you. So that clear-cut communication, or communicating with one another, is going to be the best way for both of you to work through whatever this challenge is that's coming through from the thorn. Because like I said, the thorn to me is really coming up as at times someone feeling like the other person is not prioritizing them. And since these are Two Pentacles cards, it just feels like it could be, work getting in the way. It could be friends, family getting in the way. Or it could just be, someone not even really realizing it, but being overly generous with their time. And at times, us feeling like, or them feeling like, we're not putting in as much effort as we could be into the connection. Like it seems like at times, the biggest challenge here perhaps is time. Like at times you might feel like there's been a lack of quality time. At times they might feel like there's been a lack of quality time. And, and again, it could lead to feelings of not feeling like a priority. However, I will say both of these cards are putting in a big effort, but that Two of Pentacles rather, it just seems like somebody at times whose energy or time has to be divided. And this could be something that we know going into this, like of course maybe this person has a very, I don't know what the right word would be, but maybe competitive job, that they work at. Maybe they have children, maybe they, have a lot of family responsibility toward their parents or siblings, whatever the case might be. So we might be walking into this relationship knowing this person's going to have to split up their time. And I feel like, again, the communication between the both of you is being highlighted here as so freaking good that it does seem like the two of you can work through together just by simply communicating with one another. But I do feel like the thorn, or one of the biggest challenges, is at times there being a lack of time, or there being this lack of feeling like a priority. But I do feel like, but at the same time, even as I'm saying it, like we feel like, or they feel like our time's divided, but they know, or you also know, because you can see the effort that they do put in. Like when they are putting in effort, when they are putting in time, they're present. I hope that makes sense. Now let's take a look at the bud. Something to look forward to in regard to this connection. Something to look forward to in regard to your person. So let's take a look, my pile 2s. We have got the 6 of Cups. And we have got the Queen of Cups jumping out here today as the bud. I really like this for me. I feel like the bud is pretty simple, so hopefully I could keep it simple. The 6 of Cups is a card of, you know, opening up, sharing, kindness, being there for one another, being supportive of one another. The Queen of Cups for me is going to represent emotional balance. She's going to represent spending. But like, honestly, what's kind of funny is the challenge for us right now might be this lack of quality time. But these 2 cards, as far as the bud or something to look forward to, scream quality time. So I find that really interesting because it could be an indication like this is something that might be challenging or difficult for us to right now, but it's not something that will last forever, which is very hopeful and very much something to look forward to. But I also feel like what there's to look forward to here is this level of openness and communication just continuing to grow, us continuing to feel super comfortable with and around our person. Same vice versa, them they're feeling comfortable with us, being able to be ourselves, being able to be open and expressive with one another, and the relationship and the connection between us both continuing to grow and to evolve. So I hope that this makes sense, my pile 2s. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Hello there, my pile 3s. My amethyst pile. Let's take a look at your person's rose, thorn, and bud. We will be pulling for their rose first. Again, the rose is meant to represent something positive about the connection and positive traits or attributes that your person has. The thorn is meant to represent something challenging, difficult, or even disappointing about your person or about the connection. And then the bud is meant to represent something to look forward to in regard to the connection you share with them. So my pile 3s, let's get the rose out there. We have got the Hierophant, and we have got the 6 of Cups. The Hierophant and the 6 of Cups to me are very positive here as far as a rose. The Hierophant would bring up traditional values in general, commitment. It just seems like to me you and this person perhaps are on the same page about what it is that we're looking for. Perhaps we're ready to settle down. They are ready to settle down. So when it comes to something positive about this connection, it seems like the both of you are on the same page. You might, again, share a lot of the same values and many of the same life goals. And overall, it seems like the 2 of you are looking for and wanting a commitment. And depending on how far along we are in this connection or in this relationship, it's highly possible that the 2 of you are already very committed to one another, and there's a huge sense of loyalty that comes from the Hierophant. So this person in general, positively about them, they would be somebody who is very loyal and very committed to you. The 6 of Cups is a card of kindness, openness, sharing, supportiveness. It's also a card of friendship. I feel like one of the best roses when it comes to this connection that you share with them is there's not just the romantic connection, but there's also a very strong friendship. The both of you like one another just as much as you love one another. There's similar hobbies and interests, and I feel like when it comes to the 6 of Cups and the message of sharing, you're both able to share and have fun participating in one another's hobbies and interests, you know, and that to me is a beautiful thing, and it just shows how strong the friendship is within this relationship as well. But overall too, when it comes to that 6 of Cups, we feel very comfortable with and around one another. We feel like we can be very open and authentic. We can be ourselves. And there's just this deep level of comfort for me when it comes to these 2 cards. You know, like we feel like we've known each other perhaps a lot longer than we actually have when it comes to your person, when it comes to the connection you have with this person. And overall, it just seems like the roses here are the commitment, the openness, the friendship, and the bond that just continues to grow between the both of you. So now let's get a few cards out here to represent the thorn or the challenge, the difficulty at times that perhaps takes place within this connection, or that at times is a result of your person and their traits. So let's get a card or two out here for that as well. We have got the Fool, and we have got the Eight of Wands. So I don't necessarily look at the Fool here, especially because we started out, if the rose of this connection is commitment, the Fool for me is not bringing up casualness. So I don't feel like that's something that we have to worry about as far as a thorn. I feel like, first of all, the Fool can be very carefree. The Eight of Wands is a very action-oriented card. The Fool's ready to take leaps of faith. The Fool's, you know, fancy, carefree, you know, doing whatever it is that they want. The Eight of Wands is quick moving, lots of energy, lots of motivation. And for some reason, for me, the thorn that's bringing up is almost like, and again, it could be you or it could be them, but it just feels like, I know this might sound silly, but almost like over enthusiasm or overly enthusiastic, like something that could be a thorn or a difficulty is maybe like this person always, like, I know this might sound silly for some of us, but maybe for some of us it makes a lot of sense, but like always wanting to do something, always having something planned, or actually, never mind, not the always having something planned, it's more like never having something planned, because the spontaneity is in both of these cards. So it's like this person might always be up for anything. It's not so much always having a plan for something, but they might always be up for anything. And where that could maybe cause some issues in a connection, of course, is what if you and your person did have plans, but they just found out that there's some concert taking place in the city and now they want to go there, and they want to bring you with them, but you guys had plans for a nice quiet night at home. That's more so of the thorn that I'm getting from this. And for some of us, of course, we might be just as spontaneous and just as carefree as our person, but it's highly likely that maybe one of us is a little bit too spontaneous and the other one is a little bit too planned. And there's a need for us to balance those energies out. You know, like we might help to balance one another out, you know, because it could very well be you who's super spontaneous. You know, if there's something exciting going on, we want to run and go do it, where our person might be more laid back kind of thing or more planned. Or it could be them that's more spontaneous, and at times it might drive us nuts because we're more planned or organized, but we're like when it comes to our time. So whatever the case might be, that's coming through for me as the challenge. I do feel like if one of you is one way and one of you is the other, this could perhaps work because they could show you how to be more adventurous and spontaneous, or again, vice versa. And you or they could teach each other how to be more planned and organized. So it's something that could definitely work, and it's something that could definitely bring maybe a beautiful balance to this connection where it's not just always chill and laid back. There's times where we're carefree and spontaneous. And again, vice versa. But it does seem like to me that could be the thorn or the challenge here. Kind of like a difference in personalities between us and our person. And at times, again, it could cause challenges within the connection, especially if there's times where we feel slighted, or they feel slighted by this sort of spontaneous, adventurous spirit that's taking place between these two cards. Another thing too, though, that's interesting for some of us, because both of these cards are very big on travel, that could lead me to believe like another challenge or difficulty is either travel, or that this could be a long distance relationship. Like we might need to travel to see one another, and that could be something that causes difficulty, or one of us might travel for work. And that, again, can be a challenge. There might be times where we didn't really think we were signing up for a long-distance relationship, and now all of a sudden us or our partner get a job where now we have to travel throughout the month. So it could be both. It could be this difference of personalities where one of us is more spontaneous, the other one is more regimented, I guess would be the word. Or it could be now something that's been a major challenge or something that's always been a challenge is that we are long distance, or something that's maybe turning into a challenge is having to travel for work. So I hope that makes sense in whichever way it makes sense. Now let's get a couple of cards out here for the bud of this connection. Something to look forward to in regard to this connection. What's coming next when it comes to this connection? We have got the Queen of Pentacles, and we have got the Lovers jumping out. So between the Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers, I feel like something to look forward to is with the Lovers connection moving on or moving forward to the next level of commitment. I feel like it's a pretty strong indication that things are going to be going well within this connection. And what I find interesting is the Queen of Pentacles here. Queen of Pentacles to me is more of a house and home kind of card, which makes it interesting with the message we got from the Thorn. So for me, if one of the thorns is that we are long distance, or that one of us has to travel a lot for work, for school, whatever the case might be, the Queen of Pentacles is highlighting that something to look forward to in this connection is being closer to one another. And the Lovers obviously too is going to represent a certain closeness. But the Queen of Pentacles is so house and home for me that it's bringing through this pretty strong indication that something to look forward to is us being closer to one another. And for some of us, that could very well mean us being closer to one another geographically, perhaps moving in with one another and moving forward to that stage of commitment. The Lovers, though, is bringing up balance. And I feel like whatever might take place within this connection, if there's somebody that's more spontaneous and somebody that's more planned, there's certainly an indication of us being able to, even as I was saying, like this is represented as a challenge, but it's certainly something that if you're, all the way up here when it comes to spontaneity and your person's all the way over here when it comes to being organized or being routined, there's a way for the two of you to begin to balance these energies in one another. And I feel like that's what the Lovers is saying. The Lovers is a card of balance and harmony. And I feel like whoever's spontaneous, who's ever more planned, it's like your person will teach you how to be more spontaneous, and you will teach your person how to be more planned. It's something that can definitely be worked through, and seeing the Lovers here, this card of balance, peace, and harmony, brings with it a pretty strong message of us being able to balance this energy and bring it to a place that feels very peaceful for both of us, who might be on two very different sides of the coin. I hope that this made sense, my pile threes. I hope that this reading resonated, my pile threes. Thank you all so much for allowing me to read for you today, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful day.